What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. And I have a bittersweet, feeling right now because some of you know, some of you don't. But UFL is literally the cornerstone of this channel. It's the reason I started the channel. I got to one of the top-ranked players in the world, and I wanted to help others climb. So that's how I started the channel. And the other games came after that. Like, even though I played FC my whole life, played competitively for years now, I quit FC, and then the big patch came once UFL was already out, and I dabbled in it again. But just the community, where the game goes every single time, it's just I didn't want to associate with that. So here I am playing UFL, and that bad feeling comes because it's just in a terrible state, and the game gradually kept getting worse and continues to keep getting worse every time they try to fix it, which to me shows that they're just not at they don't have the capability that is needed to compete with these other football games, to even compete with themselves and get this game to where it was at the beginning before they started, changing things with patches, which ultimately broke more things than they fixed with these patches, right? And so now we have this mess where the game's at right now. And so it's just a terrible feeling because there was a point at the beginning where you thought this game could go places, where it was fun to play, not because it was just some insane game with all these details like in eFootball or, all this insane content like in FC. It was just awesome because it was an open game where you could play football and where there was a skill gap and where tactics mattered and strategy mattered, where defense was manual, right? Where you could score from all different ways. And now that's reduced to a few different glitchy ways to score and not even being able to play proper defense, despite them nerfing, the AI assistance that was plaguing the game, despite having the defense pretty much fixed as far as spacing goes because they had a problem with that for a while. The goalies save everything, so even when you earn a chance, it's pretty much getting robbed by the goalkeeper. And then outside of that, there's just a whole bunch of nonsense you have to worry about exploit-wise. And it's just not very fun. The football isn't very fun at all. You sit there half the time just struggling to get any sort of normal football play going, right? I mean, it's a miracle if you get a good 1-2 that looks at least realistic somewhat, right? For the most part, though, you get this nonsense-looking, glitchy-looking trash that ends up going nowhere. It's not like it leads to goals. And then eventually someone will do like a lob through ball or a 30-yard full-powered, finesse shot with Ronaldo, or that first-time turn that everyone hates that I do, even though it's like the only fluid motion in the game, and then trying to get a snapshot, or someone will try to get a snapshot or one-time shot with, say, Jonathan David, right? And I actually included, you'll see it here shortly, but my opponent actually scores a pretty good goal, right, for UFL. And then, of course, once I break it down, this is what I've seen. As you can see here, I mean, there's no true way to, defend, but then right here, look at my Van de Ven. He freezes. He didn't even come and close down the space. And for me, this is like the best goal that I've seen in a while in UFL as far as just from open play. And there wasn't any build-up. There wasn't any man, that was awesome, like you get all the time in eFootball. Even the arcadey goals in FC at least have some, some pizzazz to them, for lack of a better term, right? But there's just nothing in eFootball. Just tragic, the gameplay. And then you add that with the lack of modes, the fact that everyone pretty much already has their top team, right? There's nowhere to go. They have all these new skins coming. They have one coming in a few days, the hypercharged team of the month or whatever. But I said this in stream, I'll say it again. No matter how you look at whatever they are going to do with these skins, it's a lose-lose. You're either going to pay your money to get skins that are different players when if you spent your money on the green skin, you don't need more. You already have amazing players. Or they're going to give you even bigger boosts and make these skins null and void, these green skins. But the problem is that players aren't just going to keep putting money in because they'll see, even though these green skins last till September, Strikers is just going to keep releasing more of these, boosted skins that make the last ones, unusable or inferior, and therefore it's not worth putting your money in because you have to do it just over and over and over. So then, besides the fact that these updates that they're talking about have nothing about, gameplay. They did initially, they talked about minor gameplay fixes, but then the most recent one with kind of the countdown talking about in a few days the hypercharged team of the month is coming. There was nothing about gameplay at all. And that's alarming because the gameplay is in such a bad state. But the thing is also, the main thing they're talking about is, for one, couch 2v2, which means you literally have to be in the same household on the same console to even play, which is going to render the player base for 2v2 like literally next to nothing. So it was a waste of time. They might as well just wait until they could do a full 2v2 release. And then the other update has to do with like this skin lab, which it's $1 short and a day late. Because, like I said with the green skins, everyone already pretty much has max out teams with max out players in juice skins. So if you spent your money on the green skins, which a vast majority of your more dedicated players did, or someone like me that is a content creator that wants to get back into this game, right? Then you're going to trade your skins for what? Are they going to be equal? Because I just have the green skins. I'll just use those. Or are they going to be better and make the green skins, again, like null and void or inferior is a better term? Then I just wasted my money on the green skins, and that's not going to make people happy. And they're definitely not going to want to buy anything with the hypercharged skins if they could just trade these other skins in and get better skins. So basically what you're going to end up with is a bunch of better skins than the trash ones you have right now that you still can't use because you have a beasted team. Or if you're a free-to-play player, maybe you have these new boosted skins from this quote-unquote skin lab. But then what? Are they going to be equal to the Player of the Month skins or not? Are they just going to be so-so? And let's say they are great. Let's say however they do it, they do a good job with this skin lab. And then the free-to-play players now can match the green skin, players, the players who spent money. Well, that's great, but your team is still maxed out, and now you have these juiced up skins. What's next? What's next? There's nothing else to do in this game. There's nothing to aim for. There's no additional skills. I heard they're adding playstyles of players, but that's not something you play for. Meaning, like in eFootball, you have players and they have a booster, some of them, and you can play for that second booster. And then aside from that, you can gain up to 5 additional skills to make that player even better. You can change builds. So say you have a CDM that could, like a Chouameni, and you play him at CDM and he's got a certain set of stats, you could change those if you wanted him to, say, play center back in the future, right? So there's just several things that you can do within your team in eFootball, and UFL just doesn't have that. Not to mention, no depth in the game. The modes don't go very deep at all. And on top of that, the rewards are trash, which is something they share with eFootball. FC actually fixed that after their last patch. They have great rewards. But the bottom line is, this game is just so far behind the other two football games, gameplay-wise, mode-wise, reward, everything. They're just so far behind that they just have no chance in the long run. I mean, the writing's already on the wall. Not to mention, when players talk about, well, they're brand new, give them time, there's two things to that, right? First thing is that they clearly created a game, and then they have no ability to make the changes that they need to make, right? Whatever they created, they still can't even get it close to how it was at the beginning, so clearly they're just incompetent. But even besides that, people say, oh, they're brand new, give them time. Guys, this game has been in production over 8 years now. Over 8 years they've had, and this is what they've come up with. Over 8 years. So it's not brand new in the sense that they just started producing it, they came out the game, and they'll fix it as they go. And we're like X amount of months in or whatever. No, we are talking 8+ years of production to come up with this, and not to mention, not even have the ability to fix glitches or properly patch the game without breaking more things. And clearly that's not looking like it's going to change. Or even if it does, when? Because we've all been there and done that with one more patch and I'm done. One more patch if they don't fix it and I'm done. And we're like, what, 4, 5, 6 patches later, and every time they've made the game worse. So I can keep saying I want to be optimistic, and I do want to be optimistic, but I also have to tell the truth, and that just happens to be, as much as I hate it, that the number one game as far as viewership goes on my channel, right? The game that I started this channel around, let's just say I built this channel around this game. It's just sad to say, but it's true. It's a dead game, and that's just a fact. So I know there's always a few of you that somehow say, no, this game's the best, or this game's amazing, or, give it time, you're being impatient, even though it's over 8 years in production. But we all have eyes. You guys let me know, am I crazy? If so, where am I wrong in what I'm saying? Don't just say, oh, give it time. Give what time? What are we giving time? You think that, 10, 11, 12, 13 more patches, they'll actually start fixing the game instead of making it worse? Do you say give it like a year and they're going to have depth in the game and also fix the gameplay? Like, what am I missing? Where am I wrong? If you can let me know. Because to me, it's just almost insane that people argue with what I'm saying. I feel like it's fact at this point based on where this game's at. I mean, look at this example of just these two games alone. And that's the epitome of what you get in UFL. So with that being said, I hope you guys find a football game you like, or are content with playing other games, or content with not playing games. Whatever it is, I just hope you guys can find happiness, because that's the most important part. And if these games aren't bringing you happiness, then what's the point? Other than that, keep grinding, keep having fun. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.